Trump is like the little boy playing Battleship, a weak leader who aspires to use the military to get whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. And that's why I think the most telling thing he said in that entire hour and a half, and believe me, we're not torturing you with it, of rambling nonsense, was this.
I don't know. To me, a town, it looks better when you have military people. These are big, strong guys, are bad guys. Look at them and they say, we're not going to mess around.
Trump thinks a town looks better, that's literally what he said, when you have armed military personnel marching down the streets. He loves the idea of U.S. cities being occupied by American troops. We know that. We've watched his actions. He loves using the military as a prop to make himself feel like he is more powerful. And when Donald Trump first started marching troops into places like Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles and Chicago, a lot of people said the same thing over and over. And I probably honestly said it many, many times, that those cities were a, quote, testing ground for Trump's larger ambition of using the military as a domestic police force, a kind of a dry run, not only to normalize the presence of federal troops in American cities, but also to punish the predominantly Democratic mayors and governors that ran them. But now, 1 year into Trump's first term, I think it's safe to say that the test is over. We're no longer in the experimental phase. Trump is now weighing the use of the Insurrection Act to deploy troops into Minneapolis, a city that's already been turned upside down by federal agents. And of course, it's now been 13 days, just 13 days, since Renee Nicole Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent in that city. And Trump has made clear he has no interest in seeking justice for her killing at all. I mean, immediately after Good's death, the FBI reportedly opened a civil rights investigation into the officer that killed her. But over the weekend, Deputy FBI Director Todd Blanche suggested that investigation had been shut down, claiming no investigation into the shooting is warranted. And this is even more appalling. It's already appalling, but it's even more appalling given the fact that the Justice Department has tried to open an investigation into Renee Nicole Good's widowed wife, prompting at least 6 career DOJ officials to resign in protest. All while Trump's DOJ has not only shut down the investigation, but they are reportedly stonewalling any effort by local officials to investigate the matter themselves. And now DOJ has taken the extraordinary step of investigating Minnesota's Democratic officials. They have now sent subpoenas to the governor, the mayor of Minneapolis, the mayor of nearby St. Paul, the state attorney general, and even the Hennepin County district attorney. They're investigating the very state officials that the FBI would normally be working with on a case like this. And that is not the only example we have of Trump's federal forces actively impeding local law enforcement. Today, in an extraordinary press conference, various Minneapolis area police officials spoke pretty candidly about the way federal law enforcement has taken over their communities. And those officers revealed it's not just Minneapolis residents, but police officers themselves who have reported abuses by ICE and other federal agents.
Recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, preventing her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day.
So those are, I mean, it's stunning to hear. He's describing local police officers coming forward to say that even they have faced abuse by Trump's ICE forces in Minneapolis. So Minnesota's police are not only being overwhelmed by the chaos Trump has created, they have become victims of it themselves. And Governor Tim Walz is now mobilizing the state National Guard troops to help deal with the situation, though he hasn't deployed them yet. And at the same time, the Pentagon is reportedly readying its own force of 1,500 active duty soldiers for possible deployments in Minnesota. Not National Guard troops, but Army infantry battalions from the 11th Airborne Division. Troops based in Alaska that specialize in cold weather operations, according to defense officials who spoke to the Washington Post. And that means that we could see two separate groups of armed U.S. service members deployed to the streets of Minneapolis, one at the direction of Governor Walz and the other at the direction of Donald Trump. This is new territory. This is Trump ratcheting things up in a way he never has before. And it's important to say that. It's putting these men and women in an untenable position, too.